Buckle up. Let's talk the legend of Ochi, and if it is worth your hard-earned money this weekend. The legend of Ochi is what happens when someone says, what if E.T., Labyrinth, and Metallica raised a kid together in Eastern Europe? Isaiah Saxon's directorial debut is a wild swing in a modern movie landscape where studios are too busy rebooting serial mascots into a cinematic universe. Ochi dares to be original. It's a loving throwback to those delightfully weird and slightly magical 80s fantasy films where kids befriended strange creatures, learned deep life lessons, and somehow avoided lifelong puppet-related trauma. Think E.T., Gremlins, and The Neverending Story, though Ochi doesn't quite reach those emotional peaks. It channels their spirit with impressive heart. What sets it apart is that it doesn't talk down to kids. This world is genuinely intense. There are scary moments, bloodied creatures, and yes, kids wielding actual guns. There's no way a Disney executive would greenlight this today without breaking into a cold sweat. And yet, somehow, this got made. A24, thank you very much. Sure, today's kids might be a little scared or confused by the weirdness of this film. But hey, I grew up on this kind of stuff, and I turned out fine. It's totally normal to be reviewing movies in a car while talking to your dog, right? Not a sign of deep-seated trauma of some sort, right? Right, Lilu? In an era where these kinds of films barely exist, Ochi is a refreshing, wild shot of that weird, wonderful 80s energy we didn't know we missed. The story follows Yuri, a moody teen living in a strange village where mythical beasts called Ochi get blamed for everything from cow deaths to stubbed toes. When her dad Maxim leads a child army to hunt them, Yuri saves a baby Ochi and realizes maybe the monsters aren't the bad guys after all. Sure, the plot sounds familiar. Girl meets beast, beast changes girl, but Saxon's world building and handcrafted puppetry make it feel like a lovingly preserved artifact from the 80s, smuggled out of a Jim Henson and Steven Spielberg fever dream. It belongs in a museum. The Ochi puppets are so lifelike, expressive, and endearing that they feel like they've wandered in from a forgotten fantasy classic, and they bring an extra layer of heart to every scene they're in. They are essentially a cross between a gremlin and a Baby Yoda, with a tad more fur. And this is not a gremlin, this is a mogwai. Lilu, this is a mogwai, not a gremlin, just for reference. The cast is solid across the board. Helena Zingel shines as Yuri. Willem Dafoe is full-on Dafoe mode. And Emily Watson adds some welcome quirkiness. Finn Wolfhard's a bit underused, but still makes the most of his moments. The film is not without some serious flaws, however, as the story plays it a little too safe. You can see every plot beat coming from a mile away, and some choices, like Yuri speaking fluent Ochi, really tested me, even for a kid's film. It was totally unnecessary for her to speak and understand the creatures, and the scenes brought to mind the cringier corners of 80s cinema, like Mac and Me. Oh. These moments nearly derailed the entire film for me. Even the otherwise lovely score occasionally overdid it at times. Still, for all the predictable turns and my personal annoyances aside, the film thrives as a throwback kids film that reminds us why these kinds of stories endure, even if it occasionally stumbles while chasing that magic. Saxon's debut is about creating a world you want to get lost in, complete with misty forests, ancient villages, and one very adorable fuzzy creature destined to become a child's new favorite movie buddy. Like my fuzzy adorable creature. Yes, you are, Lilu. Yes, you are. Yes, we're gonna market you to kids. We're gonna sell you in Toys R Us stores. Yes, we are. You're gonna be mint in packaging, Lilu. You're gonna be a collector's item for adults. Yeah, they're gonna be sold for lots of money on eBay. In the end, The Legend of Ochi is heartfelt, weird, beautiful, and clearly made by people who love storytelling more than profit margins. It's the kind of film you show your kids or your inner child who still believes puppets are cooler than pixels. I have to be honest, I went back and forth on this one. Those cringy plot choices really and truly annoyed me. But I couldn't bring myself to slam the brakes on a kids film that dares to take bold, retro swings. It embraces real danger, real puppets, and real weirdness in a way that's all too rare today. So I'm giving The Legend of Ochi the green light, even if it is by the slimmest of margins. Lilu, on the other hand, couldn't get past talking to animals. Talking to animals? Can you believe it, Lilu? It's ridiculous, huh? Holy... Lilu, I now want you to take part in my beautiful song. That is pretty much what a lot of this film sounded like.